Tuesday to all of you. My name is Nate Brennan. He is the Husker Hall of Famer, Eric Strickland. You're listening on the block, 93.7 The Ticket, 402-464-5685. Honda of Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line. As always, we want to hear from you because it's no longer Victory Monday, so it's Optimistic Tuesday. That's what we're going with today. Lots to be excited about, lots of things to talk about. We're going to be headed to New Jersey here in less than a week. Friday night matchup under the lights in prime time. Only Big Ten game on Friday, and it's a big one. And we didn't know if we were going to be here, to be honest with you. There was a lot that had to happen to get here. I know a lot of Husker fans were kind of expecting the worst, but after defeating Indiana and Nebraska, they sit tied for first in the Big Ten West. Lots to break down, lots to talk about. Again, 402-464-5685, Honda of Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line. We want to know your thoughts as always. You can also head over to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. You can check out what's going on here in studio. You can check out where Strick is today. You can chime in on all those platforms as well. If you head over to YouTube, give us a like, give us a subscribe, share it to your mom, your cousin, your aunt, your friend, someone you hate. I don't care. Just go ahead and share it. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. Also, as always, we're brought to you by Mary Ellen's, 27th and Pine Lake. Food for the soul. I promise you have not had soul food if you haven't had Mary Ellen. So shout out to Charles and his staff, 27th and Pine Lake. All right, Strick, I've done my spiel. I've done what I had to do. What's going on?
Well, things are good. It's a beautiful day down here in Texas. And I'm glad to be on the block, joining everybody that is on the block. Thank you guys always for tuning in, joining us not only here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com, or the app, but also on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook. So we're always grateful for that. Once again, yes, Mary Ellen's is the place to be. I mean,
yes, it is.
You let them know that we sent you because when I tell you, you be ready to go home and take a nap. It's very good. It's very filling. So it's one of those things you're going to feel real good when you finish it up. But it's interesting, man. It's a good short week. So we'll know very quickly, pretty decisively on how well they respond. Yes, and one of the things that's hardest to do is when you haven't been winning and then you get a win, a solid win with the emotions and so forth being high. It's tough sometimes to rebound and just come back, stay focused. But I know Mickey Joseph and the crew and those guys are understand that part of it, and they're going to be talking about that and making sure that they continue to build. You know, this week should be a building week. It is also not only a building week as far as the program is concerned in the new direction that it's going, but it's a building week as far as your character. What type of team are you wanting to now become and establish? Obviously, you would like to always set that up. This is a new regime that is having to do that kind of on the fly. But we're hoping that they'll be able to use this stretch of games, this time with Rutgers and in Illinois and then Purdue, hopefully to try to build character in the team to put them on motion to finish it off strong. The goal still has to be in play, which is you are still in the place. I think I heard you guys mention it not too long ago. When you look at the standings, you just look them up on your own. Go to the Big Ten standings and look them up and see what it says. That's what's the craziest dynamic about it. Even after how bad it's looked, how bad it's become, it's never how you start. It's always about how you finish, and that's what the key component is of this. These next preparations for games are going to be.
Yeah, it's interesting, too, because you talk about that next stretch of games. I definitely want to talk about that a little bit, Strick, and I want to get your thoughts on Rutgers. We're going to break all of that down in a second. But first, we're going to head to the Honda of Lincoln hotline where we have Brian. Brian, what's on your mind today, my man?
Hey, fellas, good show. Just had a comment on Husker football and actually another one on Adrian Martinez. And the first one, I just want to say it was really refreshing to see the defense flying around out there. They looked like they were thinking less and just playing football, flying to the ball. It was by far the most physical they've played all year. And obviously I'm not saying Indiana is, a great team or anything like that, but nevertheless, credit where credit is due, and that was by far, not even close, the best performance they've had this season. And if they can replicate something like that this Friday, I like Nebraska's chances. I like them a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Second thing I just wanted to say is tip of the cap to Adrian Martinez. That guy, the past couple games, has been flat out electric, and he's going to be forced to be reckoned with the rest of the season. And hey, it was one of those deals. It's probably best for both parties in transferring. You can't help but wonder, though, a little bit better coaching, a little bit better talent around him. What could have been, but that aside, hats off to Martinez. Like I said, from my perspective, he's going to be really tough to deal with for the rest of the teams in the Big 12 the rest of the year.
Yeah, Brian, we appreciate the call. Thank you as always. I think he's right, Strick. Well, first, I want to address what he said with Adrian Martinez. Is I know in the past I might have been a little bit critical of Adrian Martinez, and sometimes rightfully so, but I think it's just one of those situations, like, genuinely happy for the kid. Like, he say what you will about Adrian Martinez, but he cared about Nebraska. He cared about this state. He cared about the fan base, and he put everything that he had on the line. I mean, you can go through the list of injuries that he played through, and despite having those injuries, he still laid it out on the line. So I do appreciate the shout out to Adrian Martinez. Now, if somebody in Nebraska were to face Kansas State in a bowl game, I'm definitely going to be rooting against Adrian Martinez. But for the time being, definitely nice to see him successful. And I kind of want to get your thoughts and dive into this a little bit, Strick, is just the intensity, because I think that's a big part of it that Brian mentions. And this is something that I said yesterday, is that it looked like a completely different football team. Like, you look at that defense, and we've been talking about all season, like getting gashed, giving up 45 points to Georgia Southern, getting blown out by Oklahoma. And we talk about the lack of effort, and is a big part of it too. I mean, it was sometimes you question, do these guys want to be on the field? Do these guys want to be playing right now? Do these guys care? And not only did it look like they cared, Strick, to me, it looked like they had something to prove. Like it looked like they were on that field on a mission, and they had something to prove. I don't know if it was to prove to themselves, the coaching staff, the fans, whoever it may be. They were aggressive. They were flying to the football. You mention it all the time, strict gang tackling. We saw that. And it's one of those things that I think that alone should give you confidence moving forward in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I want to, address it on both sides of the ball when you're talking about the front line of the defense as well as the offense. They're hearing the stories. They're hearing the narratives. They're hearing all of the stuff that the media is talking about. They're hearing all of these different details. And when you have that as a player, it does play on you. It plays on your psyche. It can either play for the negative or it can play for the positive, right? But if you can get, and I use this when I speak to players on the basketball side of things all the time. It's really easy. There's no power in the hand, right? If I individually have 5 fingers, there's no power. It can hurt. I can slap you across your face right now. A couple of the fingers might catch you right, and you'll feel it. It'll hurt. And that's the moments. Those are the things that Nebraska was actually doing. There was just no power, right? But then what I saw over this past weekend was a unifying of some sort. I don't know how you begin to take each piece, each component, and it came together to form a fist. Now, this hurts. The fist hurts. When you put that together, that becomes power, right? And that's what I believe happened. It seemed as though, the gang tackling, it seemed as though the linemen on the defense, when they got in a hole and they got in a gap, an A gap, a B gap, whatever gap that they were slated to go into, they got in there and they held firm. They held position. Excuse me. They clogged up. They made diversions. There just wasn't a one cut, a one type situation where they were able to just get into and start maneuvering and going around. That's what I saw. Linebackers were reacting. They were responding. Defensive backs from all of the defensive backs from the nickel to the safeties, they were all coming up and engaging. Those were positives. And then you saw the offensive line, although they got some penalties. Corcoran got kicked out, but they were aggressive, and you can respect that. That's one of the things I can respect about it. I can take that. We can talk about it. We can work on it. We can heal the wound of that. But you can't buy any of the other stuff, the lackluster effort and all that stuff. You can't buy that. And so that's what I'm appreciative of what I saw, is those guys got after it in a little with a little different edge on a chip on their shoulder. And whether it was the coaches that invoked it, whether it was the shifting of the regimes, a different voice that they're hearing, whatever that was, you could tell that there was a difference. There's no question about it.
Well, I think that's what's the most interesting about it, Strick, is like you said, on a short week, Nebraska banged up a little bit, Rutgers banged up a little bit. You're going to be traveling on the road, primetime game. You're changing time zones. I know it's only an hour, but you're flying halfway across the country. You're going to find out really soon what Nebraska is going to be like the rest of this season. Like, this is, and what is really frustrating to me is I've seen a lot of people, especially on social media, saying, oh, let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's just Indiana. Well, okay, maybe let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. It's still a Big Ten opponent. It's still a team that came into Memorial Stadium at 3-1. Like, say what you want about Indiana, but they took care of business this season. They obviously lost to Cincinnati. They started 3-0. They beat the teams they were supposed to beat. They're a Big Ten opponent. Like, let's not act like this is North Dakota. And no shame or nothing against North Dakota, but it's two different football programs. This is a Big Ten opponent. And not only is it a Big Ten opponent, Strick, this puts you in the driver's seat. Like, this is a conference game that now sits you at the top of the standings with other teams. So I get out of here with it's just Indiana. And people are going to say the same thing about Rutgers. Oh, it's just Rutgers. Guess what? You got to beat the teams that are on your schedule. Simply put, you have to beat the teams that are on your schedule. And the same thing can be said last year. You can't have it both ways, because the argument against what I was saying last year is you are always so close. Well, you got to beat the teams that are on your schedule. It's the same this year. You just got a little bit luckier and you got easier competition. That's not Nebraska's fault. And it wasn't Nebraska's fault last year that you had a juggernaut and played, it seemed like, every ranked opponent in the Big Ten. Like, I hate when people say that, and this is something to build off of. And does the schedule play in your favor? Absolutely. Is that Nebraska's fault? No. Take advantage. Take advantage.
Absolutely. One of the things that I want to talk about, I mean, obviously Rutgers went into the shoe. I mean, look, it's not an easy place to play, no matter who you are, to go into Ohio State. It's a tough place. They lost 49-10. They showed up and was really who they were, right? Obviously, Evan Simon didn't have a great game against them, didn't throw the ball very much, 10 for 19, only 74 yards and a QBR of 20. That's horrendous. Samuel Brown, who is one of their best guys, that's going to be one of the ones that they're looking to, obviously, is going to they're going to put the ball in his hands. He averaged about 5 yards a carry against a staunch Ohio State defense. Not as good as the previous Ohio State teams, but one of the things that Ohio State did against them, which I'm hoping the Huskers will do to them, is run the ball. Mayan Williams had 21 carries for 189 yards and a 9-yard average against this Rutgers team. And when you look at that, they had a total combined of 252 yards on the ground, which then meant that C.J. Stroud didn't have to do anything over elaborate. He had an interception in the game. He only threw the ball 22 times for 154 yards, but he just had to basically make sure that everything was in line and in order. Didn't have to do nothing crazy. And that's what I'm hoping Nebraska. This team does nothing spectacular. Again, this is the same thing that they had when Indiana came in. There was nothing unique or spectacular about that Indiana team, right? So you have those same components, those same players. I mean, Samuel Brown's only rushed for 210 yards in 4 games on 42 carries, right? Yeah. Simon's 4 interceptions and three INTs on only 640. There's nothing that they do. Now, they're good on defense. Let's keep it real now. Yeah. That is the thing that has helped them to win games in these their earlier parts of their game. And then they lost to Iowa. Obviously, Iowa's defense is phenomenal as well. But Iowa can't score, but yet they had 27 points against this team. So that's the thing I'm talking about. They only give up 95 yards rushing and 186 yards, or 87 yards passing. That's where we've got to take care of the ball. We can't have mistakes. We can't fumble. We've got to have good special teams. We've got to do all of those things solidly so that we can allow the offense to take care of the time of possession, get them off the field, and go out with a win on the road.
Strick, this is what you do best. You break it down, you lay the groundwork, and we're going to talk about it next. We got to get to a quick EAS test, so we're going to have to take a quick break. We're going to break down a little bit more Rutgers. What does Nebraska need to do? How can we build off that momentum? We're going to talk about that next. Stay with us. On the Block, 93.7 The Ticket.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system.
Seasons change, but your land stays the same. You need the right solutions to keep you moving. That's why you rely on Acres Equipment, your Nebraska-owned premier John Deere dealership. Whether you're harvesting, protecting your crops, feeding the herd, maintaining your lawn, improving your business, or letting off some steam, Acres has what you need to get the job done. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Hey, this is Ernest Hausman. As a linebacker from Nebraska, I know how important it is to have a strong defense and a great playbook. If you are looking for a solid team to have your back, check out my friends at Burke Brown Law. Burke and Jackson will work with you to create an individualized strategy to bolster your defense.
Hi, this is Burke. Give us a call at 402-606-1441. With locations in Lincoln and Columbus, we're ready to tackle your needs. Find us online at burkebrownlaw.com.
Bagels and Joe is ready for the fall with pumpkin chocolate chip muffins, pumpkin cream cheese, and a pumpkin pie smoothie. Don't forget their delicious breakfast burritos and sandwiches, and grab a business box of bagels for the work crew. Bagels and Joe with 4 Lincoln locations and a new location in Seward opening soon.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
People first is more than a nice sentiment. At American Senior Benefits, it's the mission. If you're ready for a career where you can truly put your customers' needs ahead of everything else, this is for you. American Senior Benefits is one of the leading senior market insurance product distributors in the country, and they're looking for high-energy applicants with strong communication skills. Enjoy on-the-job training, a fun work environment, and unlimited income potential. Visit ASBMidwest.com to learn more. American Senior Benefits.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew live from Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Brought to you by A1 Automotive, Mullen Motors, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Bauer Underground, Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group, and Ritchie Brothers.
Get a lot of advice about self-care these days, but one of the most important self-care steps we can take is making sure we're financially secure later in life. For small steps you can take to save for retirement, visit WeSaySaveIt.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
October often presents all 4 seasons within 1 month. Are you and your feet prepared for the highs and lows? Stop in now to Brown Shoe Fit for a fall sale. Get $10 to $15 off any regular price shoe over $70. Save on dress shoes, athletic shoes, boots, and even hiking shoes. Browns has great brands like Brooks, New Balance, Clarks, Hoka, Merrell, and more. Some exclusions may apply, so see store for details. Stop by Brown's Shoe Fit today for their fall sale, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Nate on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to On the Block 93.7 The Ticket. My name is Nate Brennan. He is the Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA veteran Eric Strickland. 402-464-5685. That's the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Starter Heyman text line. As always, you can reach out to us. Either call us, text us, or you can head over to the Starter Heyman video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. If you head over to YouTube, give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a share. We officially hit 2,000 subscribers. A shout out to all of you for that. Absolutely incredible stuff. We appreciate every single one of you. But now our goal is 3,000. We want complete and total YouTube domination on 93.7 The Ticket. So give us a like, give us a subscribe on YouTube. Strick, we were talking before the break, before we had to get to a quick break, get an EAS test in there. We were talking about Rutgers. And I want to ask you, before we break it down in Rutgers a little bit more, I wanted to ask you kind of your perspective, because as a 3, 4, 5-star athlete or whatever, or 3, 4, 5 sport athlete, I should say, whatever you want to call yourself, one of the best athletes to ever come out of the state of Nebraska. What does short rest mean to you? Would you rather have it? Because this is the thing that I look at it as, is that normally I would say you want more rest. This was a big win for Nebraska. Like, this is something to build confidence off of. Do you want to get right back out on the field, or do you want to have a little bit longer time to rest?
I think in this situation, I would want to get back out. I think the more that I can compound good energy, good reps, the quicker I can get back to, in basketball, it would be muscle memory. In football, it's a totality of everything, whether it's the offense, it's working in sync, whether it's the defense, it's moving cohesively. It's being disciplined. It's no breakdowns. It's all of those things that you've been training, you've been working on, you've been studying. It's compounding those things, right? So that's the way that I would look at it as far as getting back onto it a little bit early. Get out of the city. You stay there a little bit too long, then you start, people start saying, hey, it's coming back. And, you start hearing all this nonsense and stuff like that, stuff on the radio. Get out. It's good to get a win like that. Short week for me. Get on the road. Go out there, be focused. Come back over the weekend. Then you get a longer rest period. So I'm okay with getting a short week after a good win like that, as long as you don't have too many problems or injuries and stuff like that to deal with. Come back, get reps. Some of those young guys that got out there that hadn't really been getting no time, they're excited again. So you're going to get hopefully another energetic game out of the Huskers when it comes back to going out to New Jersey to face Rutgers.
In Stricky, we've been talking about Rutgers. I'm going to break down some of the numbers a little bit more, because when you talk about Rutgers, how they don't really do one singular thing great, Breaking down some of the numbers, total yards a game for Nebraska, they're just under 438 yards. That's 260 yards passing, 178 yards rushing. Rutgers, on the other hand, averages 331 yards a game, 161 yards passing. They do have 170 yards rushing. But here's what's really fascinating about the difference between Nebraska and Rutgers. Now, Nebraska had a few games that really inflated these statistics, especially Northwestern, Georgia Southern, and Oklahoma. Yards allowed per game, Nebraska 469, 269 through the air, 200 yards on the ground. Rutgers, on the flip side, 186 yards passing, 95 yards on the ground. So I think when you look at Rutgers, I think defense is probably their strength on the other side of the ball. But I just look at them, and I don't really want to compare them to Indiana because Rutgers is sitting at 3-2. They didn't look great against Ohio State. But I think the interesting thing about Rutgers is that very similar to Indiana, like, you don't really have an offense that's like, oh my gosh, like, look out for this guy. Like, they're going to light you up this way. I mean, it's a team that depends on defense. And for a lot of years, we saw Nebraska kind of maybe in that similar boat. And the way I look at it, Strick, and I think I consider Iowa probably the same way. If you get up early against Rutgers, and I'm talking you go into half, maybe even the end of first quarter, 14-21-0, like, you're in a good spot. Like, and the thing is, like, we talk about momentum, intensity, all of that. If Nebraska can find a way to ride this high, ride this momentum into the first half against Rutgers, I'm feeling good. Like, I think using this to your advantage is really going to help this upcoming Friday.
Yeah, just one of the things they gotta watch and monitor is just no letdowns, right? They can't look. You've got to look at yourself as a bad team. You've got to look at yourself as you're 2-3, and what you've done in the earlier. You can't look at yourself as, you're a perennial powerhouse and you're going into Rutgers, and that is not you. You're on par with Rutgers. So what are you gonna do this game to separate yourself and to make yourself come out victorious in not barely fashion, but in convincing fashion? I'm not saying you got to go in there and beat them by 40. I'm saying, how are you going to get a convincing win on the road against a team that is very staunch defensively, don't do much? Are you going to compound, or are you going to look like the team before with only 4 sacks in 4 games? Or are you going to look like a team that got 3 sacks in one game and you did it when it mattered? Right? Those are those, don't be Penn State. Don't be like those teams that go out here and play down the competition. Go out there and play above the noise, above the competition. Continue to solidify yourself as foundation building in the core of what now hopefully will become your identity. What is going to be your identity for the rest of the year? Right now, it looked like lackluster, lack of effort, half-hearted. All of these things you can say was their identity coming up to this point, up to that last game. Now, what is it going to be? What is it going to be to finish the rest of the season? Because you can make, just like we did in basketball, we went 11-1, went on a 10-game losing streak, losing the tournament, but then going to win a national tournament in the NIT. What are you going to do to change the narrative? That whole season could have killed a legacy, but it turned into something good. Go out there and win a Big Ten West. Change the narrative of how this season starts. I guarantee you, if you go out there and win the Big Ten, no matter how down it is, no matter how low it seems, if you go out there and win a Big Ten West champion, it changes the whole narrative of how everything started. And then they may even forget about Scott Frost at that point. It becomes who is it, Mickey, or who's next? Scott Frost becomes a distant memory. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm thinking, and that's what I would be focused on if I'm the team, if I'm the leaders, if I'm the head coaches and the coaching staff. Let's go out here and do something and shock the world. Because right now, nobody believes it. Nobody, to include people in media, believes it. So go and change the narrative.
Yeah, and this is a game that's ripe for the picking, Strick, because I'm looking at how Rutgers started the season. So they won at Boston College on a nail-biter, 22-21. Yeah. For what it's worth, Boston College got somewhat embarrassed by Virginia Tech, which is just a bad football team. They would defeat Wagner 66-7 as they're supposed to. They would go to Temple, have another nail biter, and beat Temple 16-14. Then you play Iowa at home, which Iowa has its fair share of struggles. They would score 27 points, 2 of those being defensive touchdowns. I think that's the interesting part when you look at Rutgers' defense. So they would lose 27-10 in that one. And then you get blown out by Ohio State 49-10. So I think we just look at this Rutgers game, and I don't know if I want to put them on the same level playing field and same level as Nebraska, because give Rutgers their props. They are 3-2 and Nebraska sitting at 2-3. But if you're Nebraska, Strick, I just look at this game, primetime matchup against a team that you like. We're not talking about Michigan or Ohio State here, right? I mean, it's just one of those situations. You just look at it, and it's Rutgers.
Yeah,
like this is Nebraska. You're a blue blood. Let's show up. Let's show out. This is the perfect setup, and we kept talking about it, Strick, and I'm going to keep talking about it. If you look at the schedule, how it is lined up, this is what you want.
There's no question.
This is it. This is it. And you have momentum on your side. And if somehow, some way, you can get to rattle off Rutgers, Purdue, Illinois, you're sitting at 4-1 in the Big Ten. Not only are you in the driving seat, like, you might be favored at that point. Like,
absolutely.
This is the opportunity that sits so well for Nebraska.
Kevin McGinnis says it, and he speaks exactly as I would have said it. The schedule gets progressively tougher as you move ahead throughout the season, which is okay. When you have this kind of transition after the bad start that you have, this is the kind of schedule that you would love to have to progressively get better, to learn week to week, and then as you ramp up, then you're ready for those matchups against those revenge games that you really want to have, right? They still owe Illinois, so they've got Rutgers ahead of them to even build up and get ready for both Illinois and Purdue. So those are good games to have on your schedule as well. And so I'm looking forward to, as Kevin McGinnis stated, on how this storyline pans out. Those are some of the things I'm watching. Those are some of the things I'm looking for. And I want to see continuous improvement, not necessarily, I don't mind even little baby steps, but I would like to see a holistic, continual improvement of Husker football. And that's an all facets. Look, we saw it in the special teams. They were doing stuff in the special teams that they hadn't been doing. They were creating space, getting room, blocking, a lot of those things we hadn't seen. We've seen it in the defense. Again, we talked about that. We've seen Casey Thompson finally getting comfortable and unleashing the long balls. You know, not waiting, not hoping, reading the coverages, and then seeing how it's developing, knowing what you got, and hitting the spot. So we want to see more of that improvement.
I completely agree. And Tyler says, I hope we show up and play to our potential. I worry that people are too high on us, though, after the Indiana win, similar to Rutgers. It's just Indiana. I think the only thing to that, though, is that if you're the coaches and you're the players in the locker room, Strick, I still believe they got to be playing with the chip on your shoulder. Like, I know this is a big win. This is you're now sitting at 1-1. Let's be honest here. Nebraska still hasn't made a bowl game in 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Like Nebraska is in no position to be saying, okay, like we're gonna run the table now. Like, we're Nebraska. We're not there yet. Like you should go and you said it great last week, Strick. You said you should go into every single game thinking you're the underdog.
Thinking you're the underdog. I don't care what Vegas says. I don't care what they say. I don't care how much they think you're. We are the underdog. Everybody thinks we're going to lose this game. They're just wanting to see and hope how it's going to happen. That's going to be the component.
I completely agree. And I think Tyler says too, he says every win is a big win at this stage in the game. That's just where we're at as a program. I completely agree. Like the thing is like, that's why I don't want to downplay Indiana. And if Nebraska beats Rutgers, I don't want to downplay that. Like you can help me out. Text line 402-464-5685. When's the last time Nebraska won 2 straight Big Ten games? Seriously. Like when because I genuinely don't know the answer. When was the last time Nebraska won 2 in a row, 2 straight Big Ten games? Like, let's not downplay this. And I'm not saying like we need to compare everything to years past because that's not Nebraska standards. And to be honest with you, it's not any standard in college football. But like, that's 2 straight wins.
Yeah.
Like that, like let's take that and let's use that going forward.
Yeah.
That's the case. And Thunder Collins brings something up, Strick, and I think absolutely here. He says, let's throw out a big if here. If we win the Big Ten West, do we hire Mickey Joseph? I think absolutely. I think if you can start the way that Nebraska started and you can finish the season and go whatever it takes to win the Big Ten West, I'm going to assume it's probably 7-5, 8-4. If you can get to that mark, because at that point you're talking like a pretty decent bowl game. Like we're not talking about the Idaho Potato Bowl, and no discredit to it if that's an actual bowl, but like we're talking like Duke's Mayo Bowl. Like you're talking the tier right underneath the New Year's Six. Like hell yeah, give me all of Mickey Joseph. Signed, sealed, delivered. Absolutely, give me that. We have a couple texters on the text line. Chase B says 2014. Texter says 2017 Riley era. We're gonna have to look that up, Strick, because that's gonna be my question of the day. And if someone could kind of give me a little bit of proof, because that's gonna take a little bit of digging, I'll definitely get into some of that. But I don't know when the last time was. It's been a while since Nebraska won back-to-back Big Ten games. And you know what? Let's do it this Friday. This is the matchup you want. Prime time, FS1. The last time the country had their eyes on you was against Oklahoma. And you know what everyone's saying about Nebraska? That's just same old Nebraska. Change it. Let's see it. Absolutely inject Mickey into my veins if they can win the Big Ten West. Absolutely, Thunder Collins. We got to take a quick break. Shootout with Strick is up next. 402-464-5685. Give us a call. Your chance to win $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings right after this. 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
People first is more than a nice sentiment. At American Senior Benefits, it's the mission. If you're ready for a career where you can truly put your customers' needs ahead of everything else, this is for you. American Senior Benefits is one of the leading senior market insurance product distributors in the country, and they're looking for high-energy applicants with strong communication skills. Enjoy on-the-job training, a fun work environment, and unlimited income potential. Visit asbmidwest.com to learn more. American Senior Benefits.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Seasons change, but your land stays the same. You need the right solutions to keep you moving. That's why you rely on Acres Equipment, your Nebraska-owned premier John Deere dealership. Whether you're harvesting, protecting your crops, feeding the herd, maintaining your lawn, improving your business, or letting off some steam, Acres has what you need to get the job done. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken lips. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
October often presents all 4 seasons within 1 month. Are you and your feet prepared for the highs and lows? Stop in now to Brown Shoe Fit for a fall sale. Get $10 to $15 off any regular price shoe over $70. Save on dress shoes, athletic shoes, boots, and even hiking shoes. Brown's has great brands like Brooks, New Balance, Clarks, Hoka, Merrell, and more. Some exclusions may apply, so see store for details. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today for their fall sale, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
At Venue Catering and Events, we offer 2 of the most historic ballrooms in Lincoln. The Jasmine Room located in the historic Grand Manse in the heart of downtown, featuring a beautiful built-in antique bar, spacious patio, and soaring skylit ceilings. The Scottish Rite Ballroom, located just 2 blocks from the state's capital, boasts intricate hand-carved columns, rich dark wood floors, and lavish chandeliers. The perfect venues to host your wedding, corporate event, or much more. For availability and more information, call us at 402-603-6483.
They might win, they might lose, but either way, you have something to say about it. Don't miss the Husker After Party postgame show immediately following every Nebraska football game. Nick Sainert and Jake Bachhoven give instant reaction, quotes from the players and coaches, and take all your phone calls with thoughts on the game. It's the Husker After Party postgame show, only on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sponsored by Action Plumbing and Heating, Gary Michaels Clothiers, and Brent Excavating.
I grew up hearing that women are bad with money. But like many of you, I spent years paying bills, managing checking accounts, and taking care of my family. So turns out women are pretty good with money after all. And now I'm taking control of my financial future by saving for retirement. It's never too late to start, and there's a great website to help you. Check out WeSaySaveIt.org and jumpstart your retirement savings on your budget and your timeline. That's WeSaySaveIt.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
That is correct. It is time to play the game. Your chance to win $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. All you got to do is beat Eric Strickland at his own game. 5 questions for you, 5 for Strick. They're all either or except one money ball. You got to get it right on the money. And if it's tied, we'll go to a sudden death tiebreaker. 402-464-5685. Honda of Lincoln Hotline. We want to hear from you again. $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings on the line. And unfortunately for Strick, I know he's a little bit upset with me. I did not play The Champ Is Here sounder because Strick, the reign of terror is over. So that's all right. There's always opportunities, Strick, to turn it around. There's always an opportunity for the champ to be back here, and this is your opportunity. So all we need is a caller, 402-464-5685. Again, everyone's scared of Strick these days because he's been on such a hot streak, but you're not playing against the champ. He's not warming up the boxing gloves over there on the StreamYard, so you don't have to worry about that as much. So it's obviously it's your chance to win. And I'll give a hint, Strick. I won't tell you the actual category because I know you get frustrated when I say that until you're ready to go on. It's something that we have just about every week. So it's one of the categories that I pick just about every week. So that should help give you guys a little bit of a hint if you're looking to beat Strick at his own game shootout with Strick. Again, $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings on the line. And we will head to the Honda of Lincoln hotline where we have Matt. Matt, how you doing today?
Doing good.
All right, Matt. Do you feel confident in beating Strick today? He's no longer the champ.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
All right. I love to hear that confidence. Matt, you know how this works. Stay on the line for me. We need to get Strick's answers first. See how many points you got to get in order to win the chicken. Strick, today's category, the AP poll. Lots of shakeup in the AP poll. This one should be a pretty fun one. Strick, are you ready?
I think I'm ready. My issue is the Google machine is working right now.
Strick,
he's all.
Strick, unmute yourself.
I am. You can't hear me?
Strick, you're muted.
I'm not muted.
Here, I don't know why we can't hear you real quick. How about now?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
There we go. All right. We're having that's okay.
No, the Google machine, he's working the Google machine right now. I don't feel comfortable that I'm gonna win this
hey,
game.
listen, I do it right before I have you on, so we're in luck. Strick, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, we will start in 3, 2, and 1. They make a jump into first place after a big win. Ohio State or Alabama?
Alabama.
That's correct. This former 16-team ranked Big 12 school is bounced from the rankings. Tennessee or Baylor?
Baylor.
That's correct. They make the highest unranked to ranked jump. TCU or Syracuse?
TCU.
That's correct. They make the biggest jump up 7 spots. Wake Forest or Ole Miss?
Ole Miss.
It's actually Wake Forest. This Big 10 school, not named Michigan or Ohio State, jumps into the top 10.
Wisconsin.
Not Wisconsin. They would end up firing their coach, Paul Christ. It's actually Penn State.
Dang it.
So Penn State, Penn State 10th in the country.
Give myself no time on that one.
I know, Strick. You were contemplating those other ones. Wake Forest coming off a big win. They jumped 7 spots. They're now sitting at 15, despite having a loss on the schedule against Clemson. Should make for a pretty interesting run here in the ACC. So, Strick, that will finish you with 3 points, leaving yourself a little bit vulnerable today. Matt, how you feeling?
I think we're okay. Gonna do it.
All right, Matt. I'm confident in you as well. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, we will start in 3, 2, and 1. They remain just 1 spot outside the playoff window at number 5. Kentucky or Clemson?
Clemson.
That's correct. They're the highest ranked Pac-12 school. Utah or USC?
USC.
That's correct. They become the second ranked Group of 5 school. Coastal Carolina or Cincinnati?
Cincinnati.
That's correct. They're the only school to be bounced out of the top 10 after this weekend. Kentucky or Washington?
Kentucky.
That is correct, and they're dropped from the rankings completely after getting blown out by TCU.
Oklahoma.
Strick, I will say you have met your match because I'll give you one of these, Matt. Flawless victory. You deserve this one.
Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
Matt, a very impressive win. Now, I felt confident after Strick only had 3 points, but that is a clean sweep, 6 points. As always, you can either talk trash to Strick or take the high road.
Oh, the high road's okay. Good effort. Good effort.
That was a good effort, Matt. We appreciate you as always. $15 Buffalo Wings and Rings. Go ahead and stay on the line. We'll make sure that Rico gets your prize today. So, Strick, the champ is not here. You struggled a little bit today. But maybe tomorrow you'll be back on your winning ways.
Yeah. I look forward to tomorrow.
We hope so. For what it's worth, I always like to do the tiebreaker, make it a little bit fun. So Georgia gets bounced from the number 1 spot, like you accurately said, Strick, despite having 28 first-place votes to Alabama's 25. So overall points, Alabama would have more. They jump into first place. So 28 points to be first in the country for Georgia, 25 for Alabama. How many does Ohio State have now after their win against Rutgers? Number 1 votes to be the number 1 team in the country.
5.
They have 10. So Ohio State, they were at 4 last week, catching ground a little bit. I don't really envision them ever jumping up to the number 1 spot as long as Georgia and Alabama are still winning if they don't lose, but they're gaining a little bit of ground. Will be interesting to see how far they're able to jump up. Maybe they can get that number 1 spot. I know Georgia and Alabama have pretty tough schedules, and Ohio State maybe not as much this year. That'll do it for Shootout with Strick. $15 to Buffalo Wings Rings. A huge congrats to Matt. He will go home with the chicken today, courtesy of Strick. And we'll play again tomorrow, right around this time. Make sure you give us a call because Shootout with Strick comes to you every single Monday through Friday. $15 to Buffalo Wings Rings on the line. That'll do it for hour number 1 on the block. Luckily for you, we get a whole nother hour. Make sure you stick with us on the block. Coming up next, right here, 93.7 The Ticket.
The weather in Nebraska is unpredictable every day, and that's no fun when you're trying to golf. Double Eagle Golf in West Lincoln is now open to let you play in perfect indoor conditions daily. Double Eagle Golf has 5 simulator bays to hit in, by far the most in Lincoln. It has a fully stocked bar with beers and cocktails for you to enjoy while you play. Double Eagle Golf is open each weekday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., so you can start the day there, take a client over lunch, or end the night with friends. Check out Double Eagle Golf today inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Expect increasing cloud cover as we top out near 81 this afternoon. Winds start today out of the south and turn northerly by the end of the afternoon at around 10. We will see a chance of showers and thunderstorms late this afternoon into tonight, with the low dropping down to 52, becoming mostly sunny tomorrow with a high of 76. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Venue Catering and Events, we offer 2 of the most historic ballrooms in Lincoln. The Jasmine Room, located in the historic Grand Manse in the heart of downtown, featuring a beautiful built-in antique bar, spacious patio, and soaring skylit ceilings. The Scottish Rite Ballroom, located just 2 blocks from the state's capital, boasts intricate hand-carved columns, rich dark wood floors, and lavish chandeliers. The perfect venues to host your wedding, corporate event, or much more. For availability and more information, call us at 402-603-6483.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket.
We stand on the shoulders of women who came before us.
Women who fought for their own financial futures.
And now it's our turn.
Join us. Visit WeSaySaveIt.org and take control of your financial future by saving for retirement.
A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, this is Ernest Hausman. As a linebacker from Nebraska, I know how important it is to have a strong defense and a great playbook. If you are looking for a solid team to have your back, check out my friends at Burke Brown Law. Burke and Jackson will work with you to create an individualized strategy to bolster your defense.
Hi, this is Burke. Give us a call at 402-606-1441. With locations in Lincoln and Columbus, we're ready to tackle your needs. Find us online at burkebrownlaw.com.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
This is On the Block with Strick and Nate. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
And Hokie Homer turned Husker, Nathan Brennan.
Everyone knows that I'm the smartest person here.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Nate.
Welcome back to On the Block 93.7 The Ticket. My name is Nate Brennan. He's the Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA veteran Eric Strickland. 402-464-5685. Honda of Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line. We definitely want to hear from you guys because this one, it's going to be pretty fun. I've got a soundbite that I'm going to play for you. I got a soundbite that we're going to bring for Strick. I don't know if he's heard this one yet, but it ignites a fire in me. It gets me hype. It gets me excited. All of the emotions are probably a good way to put it. Definitely a soundbite that you guys are going to want to hear. 402-464-5685. On the Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line. You can also check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. On YouTube, give us a like, give us a subscribe. 3,000 is our new goal. That's our new number that we're shooting for, and we will not stop until we get there. Also want to give a shout out to Mary Ellen's, who sponsors us as always. 27th and Pine Lake. You have not had soul food if you had not had Mary Ellen's. And I will say, Strick, I'll let you give out your recommendation, but I recommend the chicken wings because I have had a lot of chicken wings in my day. I consider myself a little bit of a food connoisseur. I love to eat. I love good food. And those are maybe some of the best chicken wings that I've ever had in my life. Charles will not steer you wrong. And honestly, if you just ask Charles, because I've done that when I've gone to Mary Ellen's, what do you recommend? He will definitely get you something that's pretty good.
I absolutely love the ribs. I mean, they fall off the bone. They fall off the bone. They're succulent. And I also love the yams. I think the yams are phenomenal as well. Those are two of my favorites.
Yeah, the yams are good. Honestly, you can get whatever you want at Mary Ellen's. 27th and Pine Lake is the address on that one. Strick, I got to pull it up real quick. I don't know if you've seen this, but Mark Whipple today, he took to the podium, talked to some of the media, and he was getting a little fired up, to say the least. And he said something that really stuck with me that got me a little bit excited, to say the least. So, Strick, I'm going to mute the site real quick so we can go ahead and play that soundbite. So this was Mark Whipple today. 402-464-5685. Starter Heyman text line, Honda of Lincoln Hotline. Want your immediate thoughts after you hear this? Again, this is Mark Whipple today speaking to the media.
We're good enough, I think. Okay, I'm not a genius, but we can win. We can win 7 games. We can win these games. All right, we already threw away 3 of them. I mean, Oklahoma kicked our rear, but I said, that's the expectation. Is like, hey, not just to go to a bowl game. We can win the West. That's what it is. So you're in first place. Act like it and play like it. So that's again takes time, but hey, I'm a realist. If we don't get there, I'm not going to be here anyways. So I told them that. And we win the West. I'll ride Mickey's coattails.
Strick, what do you think? That like ignites something in me that's saying this isn't what we've been saying. We're not just blowing smoke.
We're not just talking. Yeah.
Nebraska can win the West, and you just heard Mark Whipple say it himself.
Yeah. And that's what's going on internally, I think. I think those are the messages. I think we want to be here. We love you guys. We care about you guys. We hate seeing you this way. We want to see you win. And as Whipple said, look, I want to be here. I want to continue to work with you guys. I want to see you grow. I want to see you develop. I want to see you become professionals and, your dreams to come true. But at the end of the day, you don't take care of business we can't go play for you. All we can do is prepare you. It's up to you to go and get the job done. And if you get the job done, here's what's in store for you. you break all the molds, all the rules on what everybody's had in their expectations, what they thought, what their minds changed. You change the whole mind of what people think, even though now see, here's what's going to be the narrative. Here's what's going to be, Nate. They go out and win the Big Ten. Right now they're saying, it's just Indiana. It's just this.
Right.
But they go out and win the Big Ten West. Then they're going to say, it was a weak schedule. That's kind of the mentality now that a lot of people have kind of come to. You know what I mean? Instead of celebrating the growth, the progression, the changes that have been made and moving into that. And how can we build on that and get better? It's now guys are, it's a lot of negative Nancy's out there. But I'm optimistic. I'm looking, if I can continue to see growth, progression, these things continuously each week getting better, certain areas getting better. You know what I mean? Young players coming in, because that's the one thing that a lot of Nebraska teams in the past have had is ultimate depth. When a guy came off the field, the next guy was just as capable. You know what I mean? There was not a lot of drop off when you had those other guys come off. That's what I'm hoping they can get to. A lot of these young guys begin to fill in like that, where get the guys a break, get them, when they're tired, get them out, get guys in there that can fill in and hopefully be able to not drop the ball.
Well, yeah, that's the thing too, Strick, because there's always going to be a narrative, because what's going to happen if Nebraska does end up winning the West and go to the Big Ten championship game. I mean, I probably consider Ohio State, if not the best, close to the best team in the country.
Yeah,
you probably get smoked by Ohio State. Guess what, Nebraska fans? You won the Big Ten West. And this is all hypothetical, which is so fascinating to me, because imagine where Nebraska was after that Georgia Southern game. Like, I think that's the crazy part about all of this in the madness of Nebraska football is, Strick, I asked you the question. I asked everyone the question. It was hard to answer because I know a lot of Nebraska fans have different opinions, but I said after that Georgia Southern game and after you decided to ultimately fire Scott Frost, was that rock bottom? Like, you could make the argument and possibly say this is in the history of the program as we know it. Now, there's probably other rock bottoms before a lot of us were alive or a lot of us were seriously following Nebraska football. You can make the argument that that was one of the darkest days in Nebraska's history. Yeah. Like, you could, and especially when you have to fire a guy that's a two-time national champion, that's your head coach, and basically tell him that you're done. Like, that's a tough thing to swallow. And we're sitting at a position now, and again, I don't want to get too ahead of myself because everyone says, you guys are drinking the Kool-Aid, all this and that. Well, you know what? I am drinking the Kool-Aid. You heard the coaches say it firsthand. Like, this season, no, it didn't start out great. And Mark Whipple, the thing that I appreciate about this regime that it's currently constructed is you have guys like Mark Whipple, Mickey Joseph, Bill Bush. They'll tell you how it is. Like, it might not be what you want to hear, and it might not always be the PC thing that's supposed to be said, but damn it, they're going to tell you the truth, and they're going to lay it out, and they're going to tell you how it is. And the reality of the situation is that this season started out about as disastrous as it possibly could have. But you're sitting right now first in the Big Ten West, and as Mark Whipple said, act like it. Like, you are currently, no matter how you want to slice it, Nebraska fans, you are number one in the Big Ten West. You're tied, sure. But you, out of everything that's happened, whatever you want to spin the narrative of this season, you're tied for first in the Big Ten West.
I mean, some of the texters act like it. Yeah, some of the texters, Dusty says, and I think I have to agree with him, 6 wins would be more than we've had in 6 years. That would be great, and I don't care who they're over. That's really the way we should be thinking about this.
Yeah.
I love the comment from Bill and Bennett. This is not the same old Nebraska. There's a new sheriff in town. Gotta love some of those things that they're saying out there. We'll see. We'll see how they do it. I mean, you are that right now. Play like it. I love it. Great comment.
which is just so crazy to really think about it, Strick. And I'm about to mute the site real quick here again for it, because I got another soundbite from Mark Whipple today, and I talk about that transparency. I talk about how he'll just tell you how it is. He tells you the truth, no matter which way you want to slice it, and that really showed up in the press conference today that he had with the media. And I'm going to play this one for you. And this is another one that just shows you that this is just the reality of the coaching staff and then how they lay it out to us. So I'm going to play this again. This was Mark Whipple today at the podium.
I don't know. I guess in my history, when I walk around being a nice guy, it just doesn't work as well as when I'm a okay. I don't know why, and that's just what I told the kids on Monday. I said, look, man, I'm down here. Just when I have something across my rear end, guys, we just play better, and that's really what it was like at halftime.
Strick? I mean, that's that. And I want to ask you, because you've had your fair share of coaches, and you probably had different personalities. You've had different people come to you. You had different people probably motivate you. If you look at how Nebraska is currently constructed in the state of the program, do you think tough love? I mean, that's kind of what it sounds like to me, is that Mark Whipple has a little bit of a tough love mindset. Do you think that's good for this team right now? Because he's like, when I'm being the nice guy, we don't get the results that we want. But when I'm expletive, we get the results that we want. Like that. Sometimes I think that's what it takes to get you to the next level.
I think there's a period of time that we've lost a generation, a good generation of kids, because we've coddled them. Mm-hmm. We've dumbed things down for them. We've created an entitlement type of a mentality to some of these kids. We've created where, for example, when I was coming up, if you won or lost, you didn't get no trophy. If you were a loser, you didn't get a trophy. You had to get better, surround yourself, or build your team up, or make your team better in order to fall into the 1 or 3 category. 1 through 3 is what got it. You got some form of a trophy. These kids now, you could be the last place team with an 0-21 record and you get a complacency trophy. Forget that. Get better. Find out how you can win. And I think because a lot of these kids have come up, I'm not carte blanching it, because there are kids that do have it. There's kids that just go beyond and do a little bit more. They go the extra mile, so you do have that at times. But a lot of these kids have come through that coddling moment. And then the next thing they see is the domination of their region, the domination of their sector, the domination of their city. Then you see stars start to come behind them. That's something to think about. You start seeing stars, right? You start smelling your own cologne. You start looking at your own clippings. Even though we did those things, it's still, we aspired for more. You know what I mean? And that's what I think Whipple's trying to allude to. He's basically trying to say, listen, when I'm easygoing and easy peasy, you guys become easy peasy in the way that you operate and do things and so forth. No, but when I'm a D, when I'm that, then you hear me, you heed, you operate, you get it done. I love that. Shout out to Whipple for making those. And now I'm thinking that, obviously, remember what I said. It all starts from the head and trickles down from the body to the shoes, to the skirt, or whatever, to the feet. It all starts from the top. And if the top is, and look, I don't know nothing about Scott. I don't know nothing about the internal workings of that program. I'm not saying this as if I have factuals. You can just see it. Because it's with the CEO, it's with the company, it's with whatever it is, you can see it. It starts from the top. And now it seems like there's something else, a different voice at the top. You can kind of see some different changes in how the system's working.
I'm going to get to this text here in a second, Strick, but first I want to ask you too, does that kind of, when you have that mentality as a coach, does that show you kind of which kids have it and which don't? Because he mentioned specifically in the press conference, Casey Thompson, and how he reacted because Chubba did go in the game. It didn't look great, but Casey Thompson was benched when he wasn't playing up to Mark Whipple and Mickey Joseph's standard. So you take him out and you have him deal with that adversity. You are kind of a bleep hole to him. And then he reacts, and it's how he responds. And Casey Thompson reacted like a leader. He reacted like a kid that was going to accept the challenge. And I think a big part of what Mark Whipple does too, Strick, is it shows you like who has it and who doesn't.
That's basically it. And you can just see the response that they have when they come off the field. You can see some of the conversations. You can see the addressing sometimes of Mickey Joseph with certain players, and you can see the attentiveness of those players listening. I don't know if I've rarely seen, and I can't say I've seen every situation of every camera on the sideline. I can just see that he's making it a point to address. I don't know if Scott Frost I ever saw doing that, and I'm not blaming him if he did or didn't. It's his style, whatever his style is. I just different types of interactions. When they responded, when they didn't, he was like, "Yo, we got to turn it over." You can just see him, involved in every aspect of the game. And, I just say I think it makes a difference. Shandelis makes a statement. He says, "Okay, kids don't hand out trophies, right?" That's not what I was saying, but you're right. They don't. It's unfortunately the coaches, the systems, the YMCAs or whatever the system they're playing under. Yeah, it's not. I don't even think it's the parents. I think it's just whatever those systems they're playing under. Maybe the parents went to him and said, "Hey, why isn't my kid getting?" Yeah, you probably have some of that. And so I think it's unfortunate that the kids have to deal with that. So that's what I was saying. They have to deal with the fact that they've been coddled. They've been, let's be real about it. Let's get into this, Nate. Since he wants to make that statement, let's get into it. Half of y'all kids ain't never mowed the grass.
You're right.
Some of y'all kids don't even take out the trash. Some of them don't wash dishes. They don't none. So we live in a coddled generation. Some of them. I'm just saying. That's just unfortunate. That's just the unfortunate way that it's gotten to. And so now we just got to figure out how to change the way you deal with them. That's all.
And I think the biggest thing too, Strick, and you can kind of tell kids that have a competitive just fire to them. Yeah. And I didn't play at the level of many people at the station and probably don't have half of the athletic talent as a lot of people. But there were times even when I was playing youth sports, like you hand someone a participation trophy. I was one of those kids like, I don't want it. Like, if I'm not winning, to be honest with you, like, I don't care to have this trophy. And a lot of parents scoffed at that. And a lot of people were saying, all right, what's this kid's problem? And that's kind of part of the problem that you have is, like, if I'm not winning, like, I don't want it. Like, to be honest with you. And unfortunately, a lot of kids don't have that. And in society, and when you get into the working world, and I've noticed it specifically just as I've grown up, like, people don't care about your feelings. Like, simply put, like if you are not there to win, and college football is a big part of it because we see how the transfer portal is now. We see how just college football in general, NIL, coaches, like just all of the way the college athletics works now. Like if you don't have that competitive fire and you're going to win, like you're going to be left behind.
Mm-hmm.
Simply put, and I know, and that's the thing too, Strickland. You said we're keeping it real. Like that's the reality of it. Like you have to play to win. And I love how Coach Whipple and Mickey have kind of taken it upon themselves to say, you know what, like maybe this isn't what's happened with these kids, but we're going to change the culture. We're going to change the standard because like what's being done isn't acceptable. And they understand that. And I think the thing is too, like some of these kids, Casey Thompson said, like, I react well to that. They probably want that to happen. Like, coach me. Like, help me, because a lot of these kids, like, you think these kids, like, that's the thing that's so frustrating sometimes, too. It's like, you think these kids want to lose? No. Like, you cannot tell me all those kids on that field are like, oh, wow, like, we just, like, no one wants to lose. Like, sometimes you need that fire. Sometimes you need a coach to ignite it in you, Strick. And I know you probably had coaches when you were growing up that ignited that competitive fire in you, and that's probably why you got to the place that you are today.
Big facts. Shout out to that. I mean, shout out to Lanny Richards and Coach Feynman, who were like that. I mean, they were very much like that, and nothing was given to us. I mean, I remember there were things that I needed to work on in parts of my game where Lanny Richards literally came to me and was like, "You can't, when you go into the gym, you can't take a shot. You can't take a shot until you've completed 100 tosses against the wall, and you shot this many shots with one hand under the basket at these amounts of feet. Like, I couldn't just go into the gym and just start tossing up. Kids go into the gym these days and start throwing up threes, and they like there's no progressive on the consistencies of their shot. They go right to the Steph Curry line, which is 30 feet, and just start tossing, just chunking balls. That stuff's not good. You got to start working from the inside out. But that's just a different mentality in the way they do things now. So you're right.
It is a different mentality. And you know what? Like, I don't know if there's a right or wrong to this, but I do know one thing. Since Mickey Joseph and Mark Whipple changed their mentality, or whenever Mickey took the head spot, there was different intensity on the football field. Like, everyone talks about this defensive intensity, and I don't know what's causing it, but there might be a direct correlation to that, because if you're tough on them, guess what? You get results on the field, and you have a team that cares. You have a team that shows intensity. And on top of that, you cannot tell me that he's being too hard on the kids, because after that game, Strick, I know you saw the video, they started chanting his name. Mickey. They gave him a hug. We're pushing him around like that. That's the culture and atmosphere that I like to see in Nebraska. And I know it's a lot of fans like to see too. Strick, before we head to break real quick, I want to get what Robbie says here on YouTube, and I believe he texted us as well. So shout out to Robbie. He says, if Coach Joseph beats Rutgers this weekend, he will be the first Nebraska head football coach since Coach Devaney to win his first 2 conference games as a head coach.
Phenomenal. And it goes back to what was said earlier. I don't care who it's with or who it's from. You haven't had a bet. So I'll wait. Somebody tell me when is last time. 2017 is what they're saying. When's the last time you had back-to-back Big Ten wins? I'll wait. So I don't care who it's against. Get her done, as my guy Larry the Cable Man would say. Get her done, whatever way that is. Go win 4 straight. I don't care. I don't care who it's against. It could be the Lincoln's lowest school of the blind. I don't care. Get her done.
Just beat whoever is in your path, especially too. You bring up Coach Devaney, and it looks like the text line helped us out. 2017, the last time Nebraska won back-to-back Big Ten games. So you know what? I don't care if it's Indiana. I don't care if it's Rutgers. You know what? You win, and then guess what? You sit at 2-1, and you're still going to be tied for first in the Big Ten West. Now, there might be less teams that you're tied with, but you're still going to be tied for the Big Ten West. Honestly, sometimes I say that I have to laugh because it's crazy to see how we started the season. Now we're at the position that we are tied for the Big Ten West lead. So that's pretty impressive stuff. We got to take a quick break. Strick, we're going to get into some NFL talk after this. The Rams, well, they did not look great last night. So we're going to get into that. Sophomore slump, Super Bowl hangover. Is there a lot of things happening? Carson Wentz might have lost the locker room in Washington. Lots to talk about in the NFL. We're going to get to it right here on the block. 93.7 The Ticket. Stay with us.
People first is more than a nice sentiment. At American Senior Benefits, it's the mission. If you're ready for a career where you can truly put your customers' needs ahead of everything else, this is for you. American Senior Benefits is one of the leading senior market insurance product distributors in the country, and they're looking for high-energy applicants with strong communication skills. Enjoy on-the-job training, a fun work environment, and unlimited income potential. Visit asbmidwest.com to learn more. American Senior Benefits.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben sandwich or the Prime Rib French dip or any of their famous chicken lips. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
At Venue Catering and Events, we offer two of the most historic ballrooms in Lincoln. The Jasmine Room, located in the historic Grand Manse in the heart of downtown, featuring a beautiful built-in antique bar, spacious patio, and soaring skylit ceilings. The Scottish Rite Ballroom, located just 2 blocks from the state's capital, boasts intricate hand-carved columns, rich dark wood floors, and lavish chandeliers. The perfect venues to host your wedding, corporate event, or much more. For availability and more information, call us at 402-603-6483.
October often presents all 4 seasons within 1 month. Are you and your feet prepared for the highs and lows? Stop in now to Brown Shoe Fit for a fall sale. Get $10 to $15 off any regular price shoe over $70. Save on dress shoes, athletic shoes, boots, and even hiking shoes. Brown's has great brands like Brooks, New Balance, Clark's, Hoka, Merrell, and more. Some exclusions may apply, so see store for details. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today for their fall sale, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Hey, this is Ernest Hausman. As a linebacker from Nebraska, I know how important it is to have a strong defense and a great playbook. If you are looking for a solid team to have your back, check out my friends at Burke Brown Law. Burke and Jackson will work with you to create an individualized strategy to bolster your defense.
Hi, this is Burke. Give us a call at 402-606-1441. With locations in Lincoln and Columbus, we're ready to tackle your needs. Find us online at burkebrownlaw.com.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Get a lot of advice about self-care these days, but one of the most important self-care steps we can take is making sure we're financially secure later in life. For small steps you can take to save for retirement, visit WeSaySaveIt.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Registration is now open for winter sports leagues for adult basketball and youth basketball through Lincoln Parks and Rec. Adult kickball and volleyball registration are also open. Competitive and recreational leagues are available, so whether you're an athlete, a former athlete, or a wannabe athlete, there's a league for you. Plus, check out their paid opportunities for officials and referees. Contact Lincoln Parks and Rec to learn more or head to teamsideline.com/LincolnNE before October 16th to register your team. That's teamsideline.com/LincolnNE.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Hey dude, can I have the aux cord?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, do you want to play some games?
What? No, stop. I'm trying to drive.
Dude, Aaron wants to know what you're doing on Friday.
Okay, I'll talk to him later. I'm driving right now.
Did you see this thing on Facebook?
Okay, you know what? I'm sorry. I gotta put you on Do Not Disturb.
Wait.
It's hard to drive with a bad passenger, so don't let your phone be one. Visit drivesmartne.org for more information. Brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. It's soul food right here in Lincoln. Ribs, wings, catfish, coleslaw, cornbread, grits. I mean, I'd say it's food like your grandma used to make, but my grandma never made food like that. If you haven't already, you've got to give it a try. Check out their location across from South Point at 27th and Pine Lake, or find their food truck at events all over town, or visit them online at maryellens.com to see the full menu. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Let them fix you a plate.
back to On the Block with Strick and Nate on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to On the Block 93.7 The Ticket. My name is Nate Brennan. He is the Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA vet Eric Strickland. 402-464-5685. That's the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Starter Heyman text line. As always, we want to hear from you. You can also check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. If you head over to YouTube, we have officially hit 2,000 subscribers. Thank you to all of you who helped get us to that goal. Now our quest is on to 3,000. So help us out with that one as well. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a share. We appreciate it as always. So Strick, last night, Monday Night Football, one of my favorites. Love me some Monday and Thursday Night Football. The matchups have been pretty good this year too, for what it's worth. The Rams would fall to the San Francisco 49ers, and we talked a little bit about maybe a revenge game in the NFC Championship. The Rams came out on top. They would win the Super Bowl. The 49ers are just one of those teams, and I want to get your thoughts because yet again, we sit here and Jimmy G, quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers, and a primetime game where your season's not on the line, but you could head down a dark path if you lose this game to the Rams. The 49ers come out on top, and not only do they come out on top, they come out on top convincingly.
Yeah.
So are the 49ers maybe doing a disservice to Jimmy G moving on, or do you think they do have a higher ceiling with Trey Lance?
I'm still not sold on Trey Lance. I think with this team, Jimmy G just does something that is good in that he manages the game. You know what I mean? He's never going to blow you out of the waters in his QBRs, and he's not going to blow you out of the waters with just different things and different balls that he throws. But he knows who to get the ball to. He knows who's going to secure him, help him, or if he takes a chance, who's going to be that guy. And we know that to be Deebo Samuel, right? Got just basic guys, solid guys in different areas. George Kittle obviously is a solid one. But there's nothing that blows you away about Jimmy G except that he freaking can win. And they're 2-0 right now. They're 2-0 in their division. So, I mean, say what you will, it's the same thing. Yeah, they're 2-2 total, but they're 2-0 in their division, and they're looking up. So I just don't know where it goes from here. I don't know if Jimmy G is going to win you the big game when it matters, but he's not going to ultimately like crazily lose it for you. He is capable of having a bad game and a bad night, which everybody is, but I just think he's just a solid guy.
It's so crazy to me, and I don't know if it's just the enigma of the NFL or no one can ever figure it out because, like you said, Strick, really not crazy numbers here. 16 of 27, 239 yards, a touchdown, a quarterback rating of 47, which is just slightly below average, which is probably a fairly accurate way to describe Jimmy G. But you look at Jimmy G, been to a Super Bowl, last year went to an NFC Championship game, and now you have a primetime game at home, which, for what it's worth, the Rams were favored, and the 49ers come out on top 24-9, very convincing win. It's
Nate, let me tell you what blows you away real quick.
It's crazy to me. It's crazy.
Let me tell you what blows me away. This defense has been phenomenal. And I'm going to tell you, which is one of the biggest mistakes that they made, was not keeping my mind. He went to the Bills. Help me. He went to the Bills. Defensive edge rusher. Denver.
The 49ers?
No, from the Rams.
Oh, Von Miller.
Von Miller. Gosh, dang it. Mine just, boy, that's what happens when you get older. Von Miller. That was one of the biggest mistakes that they made, is letting Von Miller walk, because Von Miller is playing tremendously at a high level there for the Bills. And that's what helped Aaron Donald in that front line, is having an edge rusher like Von Miller that basically you have to scheme for. You have to identify in your as an offensive coordinator in your prep. And he doesn't have that. So the number that I'm talking about is 0 sacks, my boy. I know that San Francisco is a West Coast offense, but San Francisco gets 7 sacks, but 0 for the 49ers. 0. They don't touch Jimmy G all night. That's why you see a difference in the score, 24-9. You're not getting the Jimmy G. And Deebo Samuels goes nuts. Great, nothing great from everybody else, but hey, that wins games.
Yeah, and it's crazy strict, to be honest with you. I knew that the sack margin was definitely lopsided. I didn't know it was 7-0. My goodness. That's what we talk about with Nebraska, too, is there's so many times with Nebraska. It's like, hey, let's get pressure on this guy because he's lighting you up. We're going to enter the Honda of Lincoln hotline where we have John. John, what's on your mind?
Hey, guys, what's going on?
Pretty good. Pretty good. What's going on with you?
I am a Niner fan.
Okay.
And this defense is playing lights out. I am also a Jimmy G guy. I do believe that Trey Lance is the future. He's not ready. If Jimmy starts week 1, they beat the Bears. Trey just needs time, and now he's hurt, so he's going to need more time. Jimmy makes his team go. Is he flashy? No. But he gets the job done. He still makes some mistakes. I get that. But with him, they are a winning team. Without him, well, the proof is there. So I hope Jimmy can ride this out as long as possible, and we'll see where this goes. Thanks.
Yeah, John, we appreciate the call, and I appreciate getting a Niners fan in here because in Nebraska, we don't get too many of those. So I think what's so crazy, Strick, is that I agree with John. I think Jimmy G is probably your quarterback if you're the 49ers, but they've drawn a line in the sand, and they've made it very clear that Trey Lance is their guy moving forward.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that, Nate. Listen, if that's the choice you're going to make, but here's the way that it helps the 49er organization is that he doesn't have anything in his resume to demand the bag. You're going to get him cheap unless he bets on himself. Then he goes into arbitration or gets not arbitration, that's baseball. But then he goes into where he gets the
franchise tag?
And I wouldn't even franchise tag him. To be honest, I wouldn't. I would franchise tag somebody else. But if you don't throw the franchise tag on him, you can get him for a few years, 1 year, let him try to prove himself, let him try to sell himself. You can get him cheap. If that's your guy, that might be a good plan for you to have a bigger bag to be able to distribute. That puts you in a winning situation. As we've studied over the time, we know that teams that don't mostly, unless you have a super elite quarterback, i.e. your Patrick Mahomes, i.e. your Brady's, unless you have a super elite who makes other players better, most teams successful, they win on quarterbacks with their rookie contracts. He would come out of it and not get the big bag, which could help that 49er.
Well, I think it's so interesting, Strick, and I think the best parallel I can make to this is I don't know if you remember when Kirk Cousins was playing for Washington. There were a couple times that they franchise tagged them, and that there was an offer, or Kirk Cousins was saying that he would take a 5-year, $70 million, whatever it is. In today's standards, it was a super cheap deal. They franchise tag him twice, and then he dips and gets the bag for the Vikings. So I don't know if this is necessarily the same situation. I'd have to look at the contracts and how financially it plays out. But you just look at Jimmy G. If you would have offered him 2-3 seasons ago a long-term deal, you could have gotten him pretty cheap. And on top of that, you wouldn't have to franchise tag him, and you wouldn't have to pay what is now going to be a pretty expensive quarterback market, because say what you will about Jimmy G wins football games. And to be honest with you, I don't understand it. I don't get it, because if you look at the 49ers, they're a great overall team, but I can name you 5 teams off the top of my head that are great teams that are a quarterback away. And they remind me a lot of Jimmy G. Like it blows my mind. I don't know what it is. Maybe, I mean, there's people on this earth that are winners, and there's some people that aren't. It's crazy. I think they might be doing him a bit of a disservice because you watched last night's game and it's like, is it flashy? Like John said, no. Does it work? Somehow, yes. Second part to this, Strick, the Rams, who last year had one of the best offenses in the NFL, they look lost. I mean, you don't score a touchdown on the entire night. You have 3 field goals. You're playing a 49ers team that, yes, has a good defense, but you're the reigning Super Bowl champs. Like, you're supposed to be the best team in the NFL. Now, they made some changes in the offseason. Like you said, I think losing Von Miller was a big part of that, but
also sued. They let me know. They let me know on the text line. Dusty, you're no, I'm sorry. Harold Spears, you're absolutely right. I think Sue was a big component of that too, because he still was solid in the interior.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I think a big part of it too is that I know Robert Woods was hurt halfway through the season, so you can call it maybe a hybrid 2-part Robert Woods, Odell Beckham Jr. Those guys combined, both of them now leave. That was your number 2 receiver behind Cooper Kupp. Now it's Allen Robinson, hasn't really lived up to expectations. But here's the second part to this, Strick. Before we head to break, I want to get some of your thoughts on this. Are you worried about the Rams? To be honest with you, I know both before the season, we both took them to win the NFC, but it doesn't look great right now. It doesn't look great at all.
I'm definitely worried because I felt like it was a Matthew Stafford anomaly. But listen, you had Odell Beckham. You had some great receivers there. I mean, he's super over-targeting right now, Cooper Kupp. Yes, I mean, he's not spreading it around. I don't know if he's getting comfortable, complacent, or, hey, this is not sure.
Targets last night.
You know what I mean? That's crazy, right? But Cooper Kupp gets it done. I mean, 122 yards, 14 of the 19. That's a pretty solid target to a completion ratio, or reception ratio. So I'm worried though. I don't know. They're just not looking the same, and I don't know if it's carryover or what. But I'm a little worried. Listen, albeit that this was a road game, so anytime you go on the road, it's always a capability of taking an L. But for the long haul, I don't know. Text line, help me out. 402-464-5685. Are the Rams doomed? Is it a drunken carryover from a Super Bowl win, or are they going to bounce back? And it's still way early. I mean, but
it is
I
early.
don't know.
It is early, and this is something to think about, though. Their schedule as it plays out, they'll play the Cowboys at home next week. Then you got a cupcake game against the Panthers where they should win. You host the 49ers. Then you play the Buccaneers, who are arguably maybe the second best team in the NFC. Then you host the Cardinals, who are now sitting at 2-2. You go on the road to the Saints. And then you play the Chiefs on the road. So let's not act like it gets that much easier. You got a couple cupcake games in there, but it's not going to be easy for the Rams. So they're going to have to figure out something. They're going to have to figure it out soon because for the defending Super Bowl champions, it doesn't look great. We got to take a quick break. We have one more segment. We're going to do a little crossover with DP and Jay from Old School. Always like to get their perspective. Talk some Nebraska football. Do what we do best. So make sure you stay with us. 93.7 The Ticket.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
At Venue Catering and Events, we offer two of the most historic ballrooms in Lincoln. The Jasmine Room, located in the historic Grand Manse in the heart of downtown, featuring a beautiful built-in antique bar, spacious patio, and soaring skylit ceilings. The Scottish Rite Ballroom, located just 2 blocks from the state's capital, boasts intricate hand-carved columns, rich dark wood floors, and lavish chandeliers. The perfect venues to host your wedding, corporate event, or much more. For availability and more information, call us at 402-603-6483.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
Registration is now open for winter sports leagues for adult basketball and youth basketball through Lincoln Parks and Rec. Adult kickball and volleyball registration are also open. Competitive and recreational leagues are available, so whether you're an athlete, a former athlete, or a wannabe athlete, there's a league for you. Plus, check out their paid opportunities for officials and referees. Contact Lincoln Parks and Rec to learn more or head to teamsideline.com/LincolnNE before October 16th to register your team. That's teamsideline.com/LincolnNE.
Oktoberaften presents all 4 seasons within 1 month. Are you and your feet prepared for the highs and lows? Stop in now to Brown Shoe Fit for a fall sale. Get $10 to $15 off any regular price shoe over $70. Save on dress shoes, athletic shoes, boots, and even hiking shoes. Brown's has great brands like Brooks, New Balance, Clarks, Hoka, Merrell, and more. Some exclusions may apply, so see store for details. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today for their fall sale, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Nate on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to On the Block, 93.7 The Ticket. My name is Nate Brennan. He's the Husker Hall of Famer, Eric Strickland. DP stepping in now as well, 402-464-5685. That's the Honda of Lincoln hotline, Sutter Heyman text line. We're having some fun over here. Bizarre story, to say the least. We'll go ahead and leave it at that. A bizarre story happening in the world of chess. So you can
Google
that. You can decipher that and figure out how to go.
You can Google chess cheater. One of the best chess players in the world. Just he's cheating in a way. I just need to know like how much money would be required to make it for you to go. You to ponder. Because somebody came up with the idea, Strick. Somebody came up with the idea. It's like, hey man, I know how you can win, but it's a little far fetched.
You're gonna have to pay the price.
Like you're gonna have to do some. You're gonna have to do something. And dude was like, okay, like I want to be the best in the world. So dude says, I'll do anything. Okay, well,
you'll do anything.
Well,
right?
Here's anything. And dude, whatever the number is the dude had in his head, like I got to win like $1 million for this to be worth it. Right? Like
you got that.
I've said this 100 times. I will keep repeating it. I am so glad that I am blessed to not know my number. Like there's a number that people have to get them across a line to do a thing. I'm glad that I've never found out my
Do you
number.
think if someone said it though, you would know? You'd be like, you know what? That's the number. Like if someone actually like had the briefcase in front of you and said, "Here it is," and laid it out, would you say, "Okay"?
No.
Okay.
No. I like being able to sleep well at night. Like when it's time to go to sleep, like I don't want to carry luggage into dreamland because like you don't have any control of your dream. So if the psyche lets some scary stuff in there, like Strick, I am now going to remind you of some stuff you shouldn't have done. No, I don't need that in my space.
I think DP for me, it went. I used to always say this. I said I was very grateful and blessed to play at all levels of the game. What I mean by that is to be a starter, to be a sixth man, and to be a support man. But I always said that I am grateful that I didn't never ascend to all-star status. As much as I played hard against all-stars, I was actually grateful that I did it. And here's why. I like my time.
Mm-hmm.
I like my space, and I like to be able to go and do things. Being 6'3" makes it very easy still for me to go to the movies, to go to dinner, to go places. And unless you actually know me, like last night we were in a grocery store, and I'm sitting there talking with a friend, and next thing you know, a guy says, "Hey, you Eric Strickland?" I'm in Dallas, so he's like, "Are you Eric Strickland?" He's like, "You played ball, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm Eric." He's like, "Oh yeah, left-handed, right?" "Yeah." Unless you are a basketball fan, you don't know who I am, and I like that because I still like to go places. I remember DP real quick. I went to my stepson was Deion Sanders Jr. And so we would go watch him play at SMU. And it was me, and it would be me, Carolyn, and it would be Deion there watching the games. And people would come up to Deion like crazy, and they'd walk by me, and I'd just be sitting there like, and then one time he busted me out. He was like, you know who that is, right? I'm like, no, they coming to talk to you. They don't know me. So those are the things that I always, appreciate about that, because it's it can be tough.
That when folks know all the tea, like when they know all the tea, I'm not sure there is a monetary value. Like when you have like celebrity friends, it's too much of a sacrifice. Like just basic humanity stuff when you don't feel like you're at 10, you're at a 2, and it's a rough morning, and you don't want to dress up, and you don't want, but people will take pictures of you, people will share it, people will say stuff. I don't know, but this chess dude went wild, man. He went into this dude went wild. Like he really said, I don't care at all. Like I'm here for the smoke. Let's go ahead and be the world champion at any cost or expense necessary.
He said it absolutely anything too, and I think that's a good point that you bring up too, DP, because you watch the Tiger Woods, the Michael Jordan documentaries are perfect examples. Like those guys don't get any space,
right?
Like, you are in the limelight. Like someone is watching you at all times, and it takes a toll. Like they'll tell you firsthand in the documentaries, it takes a toll, and it's just Strick. I will say we appreciate you for what you are. We consider you a celebrity around this.
My man.
Right? Like, no,
look,
this is the funny thing. So Strick and I had cross-streamed several times. And then what's funny is it actually took somebody who was outside of our normal circles to connect us, because it's a guy that's from my high school.
Oh, nice.
It was like, hey, man, you need to get with Strick. I'm like, yes, we do.
Yes, we do. That's
like,
right.
This is just a buddy. And then like he and I laugh all the time that, look, man, it took family to bring me and Strick together to make more family. Like that's what it was. So we knew. Shout out to Warren Doles. Shout out to E. Rainey. Them dudes back, man, they strike out for Strick, and that's good news. So it's good stuff, man. Good
That's
stuff.
right. That is absolutely right. Well, Strick, before we have to go, I'll go ahead and play the out here. Final thoughts. What do you got? This will do it for me. I'm back on Friday, but you got Bach with you, a little reunion here the next couple of days, so I won't see you for a couple of days.
Yeah, that's all right, man. Me and Boxer will hold it down for you until you get back. Final thoughts would be Mark Whipple's quote.
Yeah,
I'm rolling with what he said. We're going to you are leading the Big Ten West. We either go out and win it and play the way we're supposed to play, or I won't be here and it doesn't matter. So that's my final thought. I feel it. I'm rolling with it.
That's a great final thought, Strick. And I know DP and Jay, they'll get into that plenty because Mark Whipple, he took to the podium, had some good things to say. Nebraska, first place in the Big Ten West. Keep drinking that Kool-Aid. We'll talk to you tomorrow, or Strick and Bach will tomorrow. I'll be back on Friday. We'll see you from On the Block. Old School next, right here, 93.7 The Ticket.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmont